why I always chose to not be a statistic, I guess you can say. Why I always chose to not be a stereotype when it comes to like giving birth out of wedlock. That's what this video is about. So basically, I don't know why females choose to struggle and become a single parent. I'm not really sure. Maybe that's what their generational curse is, or what that circumstance they went through growing up taught them. Like, it's okay to have kids with no man or husband around, no father figure, no good partner, just, do the do and have a kid and have a family. Maybe that's what they were learned. That's what they learned, or what was taught. Because we are programming our brains as we record everything in our heads about what our environment shows us. So I can understand from that perspective, like, some women choose to go through the struggle of being like a single parent because they didn't have any other role models to show them, and this cycle continues, but some people sometimes have miracles where their kid ends up being like rich and famous or popular or something, or their kid ends up being like gets a good stepfather, rare cases, right? But because I was raised, so basically, a little background about me, I was born into a marriage. Like, my parents were married before I was born. So basically, my dad had his own house, and my dad was a single father. And my mom didn't have any kids. They started dating. They both worked for the same place, and basically that's how they met. And then they were dating, and basically they went through their dating phase, and basically my mom moved in with my dad, and they got married. And basically my mom took in like his kids as her own, basically. And then basically they got pregnant with me. So basically I was born into a marriage, with my two biological parents. And I was raised in a house. I was never raised in an apartment. So basically they had moved from that house my dad had into another house. And that house I was raised in is kind of down the street from where I live now. And then after that house, they finally bought a house where they owned the house, and that house was in an even nicer area and had a pool. And basically I grew up with two brothers in the house and a sister and a mom and a dad. So basically my parents were working for the same place. When one would go to work, the other one would watch the kids, and then they would like switch out. Basically the other one would go to work and then the other one would watch kids. So basically my dad was on Army Reserve too, so he would go away for the Army Reserve for months. I got to experience that. And then I got to experience what it's like living in a predominantly white neighborhood, growing up, going to like schools in my neighborhood. I got to walk to school, like I had a bike, I had brothers and sisters. They were older than me, so they were like in middle school, high school, and I was like the youngest baby. And so I got to experience what it was like to like have family outings, go out, eat at a table with the family, see my mom and dad together. I got to experience that lifestyle growing up. So that's like my whole childhood, like, what I got to record in my head of what life was about. Yes, marriage comes with happiness, joy, peace. It comes with fighting, arguing, it comes with it all, kids, so you learn about everything, young. And basically my parents were interesting. Like, we had dogs. We grew up with dogs. Like, I had pets my whole life. I had an iguana, hamster, dogs, all kind of dogs. Yeah, so that was good times. We had cars, we used to go on trips, like stuff like that. So yeah, I grew up in a house, right? So around college time, after high school. So high school was tough for me because my parents were always working. That's when I really had to kind of like branch off from them and start finding out like who I was, friendships, friends, boyfriends, all that good stuff happened. Then I went to college. So when college happened, that's when I finally moved. They sold the house. They were making moves in their career, my parents, and then basically that's when I tried to find out like where was I gonna live. So basically I started I had a dorm basically. So I did college prep, and so I was in college prep in high school, so I was already kind of living in a dorm. So basically for a summer camp type thing, and then I moved into a dorm for school. And then basically my parents seen that as responsible, so they were like, come back home, like you can have your room back, you can save your own money, like you don't have to have a dorm. Like, so I went back home. And basically I had a boyfriend, so I was always at my boyfriend's house. So like I was basically living with my boyfriend. Like he had his own place, he was paying for me, he was going to USC, so like USC was providing a lot. And basically that's what was going on. I was going to school, had a boyfriend, you know, going home sometimes, had my dorm, and then basically that was my life for a while. And then after that, I had moved back home officially, like, but it was cool because I was always in school, and then I started a business, so I was always running the business. And then for like 2 years, me and my sister had an apartment. We had an apartment, so I was like the first apartment I ever really lived in was like for 2 years with my sister. It was like a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a garage. And then basically, yeah, like I remember getting pregnant when I was like 19. Yeah, I got pregnant twice and realizing like I can't have a kid. I'm too young. Like my parents want me to get my education, you know, like I can't have no kid right now. Like I don't even think I really want to have a kid with this guy, you know. So I remember going through that miscarriage, stressed out, arguing with my boyfriend, and then I remember him getting me pregnant again, and then his grandma paid for the abortion. And it was just like, dang, I'm so happy I did that because I can't see myself being with him. Even though he didn't want to let me go, I was just like, I can't see myself like really healing and moving on, because we went through a lot, me and my boyfriend. We had good times, we had bad times. Not that bad though, but like still heartbreak. But long story short, when I started my business, I was focused as hell. I was like, oh my God, this is a whole new chapter in my life, and business was just interesting to me. Just like locking into business, you know, business and finishing school. I had like, you know, I probably had like some admirers at that time, but I wasn't really taking love that serious for a long time. And then one of my old high school flings came back trying to pursue me tough. I don't even know, I didn't want to be with him, and it was just like, dang, he got me back because he pulled some strings. And like that was around 26, 27, and I got pregnant by him on accident. It was literally an accident, no intention to get pregnant. And I was like, I'm happy that I'm pregnant, but I don't want to have his kid. I was like, I don't want him to be in my life for the rest of my life. I'd have to see him for the rest of my life. Like, and it's not fair to bring a kid in, and it's just like, oh, it's connected to him. Like, no. So I knew, I just was like, I can't do it. So, you know, that's how I made my decisions when it came to like not being a statistic or not being like a stereotype, like a single mom. You know, because my family wasn't like that. My family all believed in relationships, love, like marriage, houses, working. So it's just like, I can't do that. You know, I can't do that to myself. Like, so that's what made me decide for myself to get, you know, an abortion. Of course, like I believe it wasn't, I didn't have to pay for it, but yeah, long story short, after that 27-year-old last abortion, I just decided for myself, like, I don't think I'm ever going to have an abortion again. Because, yes, you do go through depression. You do go through, like, moments of despair. But I just realized, like, I don't ever want to go through that again. So, since 27, I'm 32, haven't had any, you know, pregnancy scares or none of that. Been real safe. And really thought about it, really took time to really think it over, because it was such a large gap from the first abortion to the second one. But yeah, I just don't want to struggle either. Like, I wouldn't struggle. I mean, I have a 10 of Pentacles family, you know. You know, so there will be no struggle. And my parents would love their grandkids, like they love grandkids. Like my sisters have kids, my brothers have kids, they love their grandkids. But it's just timing, you know. Like now it's a good time because my parents are retired and they have like all their assets, and it's just a good time for me to like, now it's like, okay, my parents would take the kids, like for sure, like, you know, like like they would love to be around the kids, you know. Like if I was to plan to have kids going forward, it would definitely have to be like the way I envision it. Like, you cannot be just a statistic, a stereotype. I just can't, so that's my decision at my age, to like hold off and wait for the right moments at the right times and really lay that foundation out with the right person. Like, I'm really thoughtful when it comes to those type of things. Like, I don't want to be anything like Section 8 women, shelter women, living paycheck to paycheck women. Like, I wasn't raised that way. My mom didn't raise me that way. She raised me to husband it down, wife it down, go to work, come home, love your kids, find me time. All right, do it all over again every day, So that's my whole take on like where I'm at in my life. Is like I'm happy because it's like I don't have the responsibility of like kids yet. I only have to take care of myself, and this is a good time. Like, it's really a good time. It's a really fascinating time, like, moving forward in my life. But yeah, it's a little bit about me. Now I'm grown as hell and I have my own place. Again, I've had my own place many times. Like, prior to living here, I was living in an apartment for 2 years by myself. I was paying $1,800 a month. Like, I buy my own cars, buy them fresh from the dealership. Like, I do a lot of adulting now. And it's been that way for like years now. And it's like interesting to see, like, to work for my own stuff and pay my own stuff. Like, and then to come together with a man who has the same thing going on. Maybe he lives by himself, he works, he has his own, and it's like to see him, and then to see how does this work, like how can we make this work, or like how do we merge, or how do we share, or how do we get along, or are you a giver or are you a taker? Like, where are you at in your life? Even if the guy has a kid but like he's co-parenting or something, or if the guy has a kid and he's like the sole parent, or if they don't have a kid, like, it's interesting to see like life, before your eyes. But I do see a lot of people struggling with stuff like that. Like, my main struggles, they're not the same as probably everybody else. My main struggle really is like mentally clearing my head, like right now I've been doing a lot of sleeping, a lot of resting, so it has a lot to do with clarity and clearing my head. That's where my struggle more so is. Other than that, I don't struggle like any other way. I refuse. Like, it's just I wasn't built like that. Like, I'm not gonna struggle. Like, even if someone kicks me down or kicks me out, like, I still always have like resource. I still always have something like to fall on, so I always get my own. I always figure it out, like, and that's the beauty of life, is like you get back up, you figure it out. And like right now, you guys can hear my voice. Yeah, I'm sick. I didn't predict I was gonna be sick right now, but I think it's a part of the process right now. It's a part of like the healing process. Things are changing. I'm happy. I'm in a good space today. So yeah, guys, right now it's all about changing that diet, having that good diet, like eating healthier, getting rest, drinking more water, taking care of your hair, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, staying away from toxic people, being more quiet, like, but also like speaking when you need to, talking to who you just need to talk to, and just leaving behind who you don't need to talk to. And keeping my circle small, just finding more daily abundance and peace in nature. Like, I want to take a nature walk so bad, but I just want to go where it's peaceful. So, I hope this inspired or helped somebody out there. Peace.